Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. It's been a little bit of a while since I've made my last video, but I've been working on listening to a lot of records, and I just listed a record to my website, John Lennon's Mind Games album, and this is a fantastic sounding Mind Games by John Lennon. This happens to be a UK pressing. There goes Bob, by the way, in the background. Bob's doing well as well. But this is John Lennon's Mind Games album. It was released in 1973, and I've had one of these on my website before. It went very, very quickly, but this is another one that sounds excellent, excellent. The odd thing about Mind Games is that Mind Games was recorded in the United States, in New York, at the record plant. So you would think that the best sounding pressing of it would be probably a US pressing, an early US pressing. But I listened to a bunch of the U.S. pressings from different pressing plants in the U.S., early pressings, later pressings, reissues, all of those from the U.S. And actually, the U.K. early pressings beat out all of the U.S. pressings, hands down. They have way more high-end clarity, way more low-end, a lot more low-end, in fact. And it really makes the U.K. pressings just absolutely stand out way more than the U.S. pressings. Also listen to some German pressings of this and some pressings from Japan. And while those have good qualities as well, as far as having an overall just great sounding package, it's the UK pressing that wins over all of those. So this UK pressing, I just listened to the website and it just sounds really, really great. And here is what the record looks like on the Apple label. Very, very nice record. And it just sounds great. And this is, in my opinion, John Lennon's most underrated album. Now, I think his most overlooked album is probably the Sometime in New York City album. And I think that is rightfully so. Because, in my opinion, that album's not all that great. It's still John Lennon, and it's still worth owning Sometime in New York City. And it does have a couple of songs that I actually like a lot. Actually, even has a couple of Yoko songs that I like on that album. But it is just generally just kind of a weird album. It doesn't really work all that well. But Mind Games has got to be the second most overlooked and definitely the most underrated, because I think Mind Games has some great, great songs on it. It's kind of John getting back into his, definitely getting back into writing songs that weren't as political at all. Just kind of writing straight craftsman type songs. And they're all really, really good. And I just feel like Mind Games kind of, it suffered because of what came before it and what came after it. Because, of course, after this, you had Walls and Bridges, which is a fantastic record. Here comes Bobby again. He wants to say hello. Okay, Bob. Walls and Bridges came after this. And Walls and Bridges, for me, is probably one of my favorite solo John Lennon albums. But I think Mind Games is kind of like, in a sense, it's kind of weird to think about this, but I just came into my head and I actually kind of agree with this, in the sense that Mind Games and Walls and Bridges are very similar in a sense to like how Rubber Soul and Revolver kind of work together in like a weird way. Obviously, Rubber Soul and Revolver are very different, but they're from that same kind of time period where the songs, you can't say the same for like Revolver and like Sgt. Pepper. Those are very, very different times. But Rubber Soul and Revolver kind of have the same time periods, kind of the same vibe a little bit. Same can be said for Mind Games and Walls and Bridges. It's kind of that same vibe going on for John Lennon. And anyway, I just love Mind Games, and I think it's a really great, great record. So, if you're looking to add Mind Games to your collection and get the best sounding one you can possibly get, go to my website, needlemeetsvinyl.com. Check this one out, and you're sure to love it because it's a great, great sounding pressing. So head on over there. And by the way, stay tuned because I will be making a Beatles 10 Facts video this week for the Beatles album Sgt. Pepper. So that's going to be an exciting one. And also, there are more records coming to the website as well. I'm working on Beatles for Sale right now as we speak. I took a little break from that, and I'll soon be finding the best pressing of that and listing to the website and making a video for that later this week. So stay tuned. And that's it for now. So I hope you're all healthy and staying happy and trying to enjoy yourselves. So bye for now.